One of the things, Ben, is kind of a common issue with a lot of inclusion and diversity programs is really lack of that genuine inclusion. And what's Walmart doing to really ensure that diversity is not seen as kind of this numbers game, but it's actually used as a resource to strengthen the culture and overall well-being for the company in the long run.
Yeah, I think part of our what we're trying to do, Cody, is um, shift the conversation to a conversation about inclusion, and ask leaders to begin to develop skills and techniques around what it means to be an inclusive leader. I think our shift from a compliance based approach to a neuroscience and a social science based approach is a key to really getting leaders to think differently about how they lead. I didn't mention that the work that we're doing with the Racial Equity Institute. I actually attended the first class with that institute in 2017 in New Orleans. They were actually doing that work in New Orleans in the community. Um, and we brought them in. I think we're one of the first corporations to bring them inside the corporation to really have discussions about the history of race. Early this year, Doug went through a 2-day session on Zoom. So to think about getting the CEO of Fortune One to sit on Zoom for 2 days to go over the history of race in the country, it was a phenomenal session. That night, he sent me a note and he said, "Hey, I want every officer in the company in the U.S., 430 odd officers, to go through the session." So we're in the process now of training 430 officers, 2 days on Zoom, 45 officers each session. See, one of the reasons why we believe diversity programs fail because it's too much compliance, it's too much thou shalt do this versus how do you actually educate and begin to address people's hearts and minds around what it is to lead in a more inclusive way. So that's been our approach. We think for officers, particularly because our CEO went through this session and it was so impactful. I mean, everybody who goes to this session comes out, you come out a different person because it's not history that's taught in school for any of us. Even history majors. We had a PhD history major in one of the sessions, and she came out saying, "I never learned any of this stuff."
Hmm.
And so our hope and prayer is we don't want to change who you are, but we do want to change how you might think. And we believe that if we can help change how you think, that you're actually going to be a more inclusive leader at the end of the day.